Your dog is pressed against your legs, shaking so hard you can feel it through your jeans. The first boom hasn't even finished echoing, and already those eyes are wide, that tail is tucked, and your kitchen floor might as well be a war zone. You've tried talking softly. You've tried holding them. Nothing seems to reach them, because right now, your dog isn't hearing your voice at all. They're hearing danger. If you've ever sat on the floor at 10 o'clock on the 4th of July, arms wrapped around a trembling body twice as tense as it should be, you already know this feeling. It's helplessness. You love this animal more than almost anything, and in this moment, you have absolutely no idea how to help them. Here's something that might surprise you. The panic your dog feels during fireworks isn't really about the noise itself. It's about what that noise represents to a brain that's still running on instincts from thousands of years ago. To your dog, a sudden explosive crack in the sky isn't a celebration. It's a threat with no clear direction, no visible source, and no way to escape it. Their entire nervous system floods with stress hormones, the same way yours would if you heard gunfire nearby. That's not an exaggeration. Veterinary behaviorists have long compared firework reactivity to a genuine trauma response, not simple annoyance. And that's exactly why yelling it's okay or dragging them by the collar toward the couch usually backfires. You're asking a panicked brain to process reassurance, but panic doesn't process reassurance well. It processes safety. Real, physical, felt safety. And that changes everything about how you should approach this. Most guides you'll find online tell you to buy a thundershirt, turn on the TV, and hope for the best. Those things aren't wrong, but they're incomplete. They treat the symptom without addressing what your dog's body actually needs in that moment, which is to come down from a fight or flight state as quickly and gently as possible. That's where a more intentional, 10-minute approach can make a real difference, not by masking the noise, but by working with your dog's nervous system instead of against it. The first mistake almost every loving owner makes is trying to fix the fear during the fireworks themselves. The time the first boom hits, your dog's brain has already shifted into survival mode. You're not calming them down at that point, you're managing a crisis. Real progress happens in the calm minutes before the noise ever starts, and in the quiet aftermath once it's over. If you know fireworks are coming, whether it's a holiday or a neighbor's backyard show, you have a window to prepare your dog's environment and body before the fear even has a chance to take hold. Start by creating what many trainers call a safe den. This isn't complicated. It's often just a covered crate, a closet with the door propped open, or a corner of a room away from windows. Dogs in distress instinctively want to shrink their world down to something small and enclosed, because it feels more controllable than an open space filled with unpredictable sound. Line it with a blanket that smells like you. Scent is a powerful anchor for dogs, and something carrying your smell can be more calming than you'd expect. Next comes sound. Not silence, because true silence actually makes each firework crack feel sharper and more jarring by contrast. Instead, use steady background noise, a fan, a white noise machine, or calm instrumental music played at a moderate volume. The goal isn't to drown out the fireworks completely. It's to blur the sharp edges of each bang so your dog's brain doesn't lock onto every single pop as a fresh alarm. Now here's where the 10-minute window really starts to matter. Before the noise begins, or the moment you notice the first signs of anxiety, whether that's pacing, panting, or that unmistakable wide-eyed stare, you want to engage your dog's body in a way that physically interrupts the stress response. One of the most effective tools for this is deep, rhythmic touch. Not frantic petting, not tight hugging, but slow, firm strokes along the length of the back, from the base of the neck down to the tail, repeated calmly and consistently. This kind of touch has been shown to help lower heart rate in dogs by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the body responsible for rest and recovery. It's the same principle behind pressure wraps and compression vests, just delivered through your own hands instead of fabric. While you're doing this, keep your own breathing slow and audible. This might sound strange, but dogs are remarkably attuned to the emotional state of their owners. If your breathing is shallow and your voice is tight with worry, your dog picks up on that tension even if your words sound soothing. Long, slow exhales, the kind you'd use to calm yourself down, actually help regulate your dog too. You're not just comforting them, you're modeling safety with your entire body. Around the 3 or 4 minute mark, if your dog will accept it, introduce a low-value, easy-to-chew treat or a lick mat with something like plain yogurt or peanut butter, as long as it's free of xylitol. The act of licking and chewing triggers a calming response in dogs, engaging muscles and brain pathways associated with contentment rather than alarm. This isn't about bribery. It's about giving the nervous system something productive to focus on besides the fear itself. Some owners find that gentle, consistent pressure around the torso helps too, which is the entire idea behind commercial anxiety wraps. If you don't have one, even a snugly, correctly wrapped bandage or fitted t-shirt can mimic that swaddling sensation many dogs respond to. It won't work for every dog, and that's okay. Every dog's fear response is a little different, and part of caring for them well is paying attention to what actually helps your dog, not just what worked for someone else's. By minute 6 or 7, you should start to notice small shifts if things are working. Maybe the panting slows. Maybe your dog's body isn't quite as rigid against your legs. Maybe they lie down instead of pace. These are subtle signs, not dramatic transformations, and that's actually a good thing. A nervous system coming down from high alert does it gradually, not all at once. Resist the urge to test whether they're really calm by suddenly changing the environment, opening a door, or turning up the volume on the TV. Consistency in these final minutes matters just as much as it did at the start. There's a common myth worth addressing here, because it causes a lot of guilt in loving owners. Many people have heard that comforting a frightened dog will reinforce their fear, essentially teaching them that panic gets rewarded with affection. Modern veterinary behaviorists have largely moved away from this idea. Fear is an emotion, not a trained behavior, and you cannot reinforce an emotion the same way you reinforce a trick like sit or stay. Comforting a scared dog doesn't make them more afraid. What actually matters is how you comfort them, calm and steady, rather than frantic or overly excited, which can accidentally amplify their stress instead of soothing it. Another mistake worth mentioning is medicating a dog with human anti-anxiety products or improvising with substances you've read about online. Some natural supplements, like certain calming chews containing L-theanine or chamomile, may genuinely help some dogs feel a bit more relaxed, and many owners find them useful as part of a broader routine. But they're not a guaranteed fix, and they're never a substitute for guidance from a licensed veterinarian, especially if your dog's fear is severe, if it leads to destructive behavior, or if it seems to be getting worse year after year instead of better. A vet can also help rule out pain or hearing sensitivity issues that sometimes intensify noise phobias, something that's easy to overlook when you assume it's just fear. Long-term, this 10-minute technique becomes even more powerful when it's not the first time your dog has experienced it. Practicing this same routine, the safe den, the background noise, the rhythmic touch, even during ordinary calm evenings, helps your dog build an association between that specific environment and feeling safe. Some owners even use recordings of distant fireworks at a very low volume during calm, positive moments, pairing the sound with treats and affection long before the actual holiday arrives. This kind of gradual, gentle exposure, done carefully and never forced, can genuinely reduce sensitivity over time for some dogs, though it takes patience and consistency rather than a single evening's effort. Building a simple daily routine around your dog's emotional resilience doesn't need to be complicated either. A predictable schedule, regular exercise to release excess energy, and even short daily sessions of that same calming touch technique can help lower your dog's baseline anxiety overall, making sudden stressors like fireworks a little less overwhelming when they do happen. Dogs, much like people, tend to handle unexpected stress better when their nervous system isn't already running close to the edge from day-to-day chaos. What's easy to forget in the middle of a stressful night is that your presence itself is doing more than you realize. It might feel like you're failing because the fireworks are still loud and your dog is still scared, but the simple fact that you are there, breathing slowly, touching gently, creating a small pocket of safety in an overwhelming world, that matters more than any single technique. Dogs don't need you to eliminate their fear completely. You need to know that when the world feels frightening, you're the steady thing that doesn't change. So here's what it comes down to. Fireworks fear isn't a flaw in your dog, and it's not something you're doing wrong as an owner. It's a natural response from a nervous system that hasn't learned this particular sound means celebration instead of danger. With a safe den, calming touch, steady breathing, and a little patience, you can genuinely help your dog move through those overwhelming minutes feeling less alone, and over time, less afraid. It won't erase the fear instantly, and it's not a guarantee for every dog, but for so many pet owners, this simple routine has turned dreaded holiday nights into something far more manageable. If this helped you even a little, give it a like so more worried pet owners can find it before the next big holiday rolls around. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because there's so much more we can explore together about keeping our pets happy, healthy, and feeling safe in a world that doesn't always make sense to them. I'd love to know, what's your dog's fireworks story? Tell me in the comments what's worked for you, or what you're still trying to figure out, because chances are, someone reading this is going through the exact same thing tonight.